Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 434th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I'm put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this battle was fought on the Prippett Marshes map. You don't see this map used very often these days, but I quite like this map because you've got a combination of kind of like two battlefields. You've got the big open plains where if you want you can fight out in the open and have big battles there with your big cavalry charges and everything. Or if you want to bring barbarian troops, you can fight in the woods for the woods bonus. Okay, so this map kind of you can even bring barbarian troops or fight out in the open if you like. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member STEVELONGSHANKS. Now Steve has got 10 pikes, 4 Cretan archers and 4 cavalry, and his companion cavalry have got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. But as you can see, a lot of his units are hiding in the woods at the moment. But that's his army: 10 pikes, 4 Cretan archers, 4 cavalry, companion cavalry with 8 upgrades. Okay, our next teammate is a Brotherhood member Demon Soul. He has also bought the Mastodon faction. Now Demon Soul has got 10 pikes, 4 archers and 4 cavalry. Okay, 10 pikes, 4 archers and 4 cavalry, the same as Steve. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member SKEMA, or 8 Ball, and he's got 4 armoured hoplites, 4 archers and 11 Spartans. There's his 4 armoured hoplites, let's say 11 Spartans and 4 archers. He's got the cheap archers. They're not the Cretan archers, the cheap archers that I tend to bring as well there. Okay, so it should be interesting to see how well he does there. I see the upgrades on his Spartans are gold shield, gold attack. Our next teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's bought his old Greek cities army of 14 Spartans and 5 of the cheap short range archers. Okay, now I just want to talk about cavalry advantage here. As SKEMA and myself have gone Greek cities, of course we put our team at a massive cavalry disadvantage. Now Demon Soul and Steve have just got 4 cavalry each. Okay, so our entire team has just got 8 cavalry because, as I say, SKEMA and myself decided to go Greek cities and put our team at a massive cavalry disadvantage. Now, the enemy are going to have a big cavalry advantage over us, and this may well tell towards the end of the battle. And here is the enemy team. We have an RTW player, LAKEDAIMON, Brotherhood member LAKEDAIMON, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction. Now, LAKEDAIMON has got 6 cavalry, 10 urban cohorts and 3 light auxiliary. Okay, so 6 cavalry, 10 urban cohorts and 3 light auxiliary infantry. And it's just to say that his urban cohorts have got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on each of them. Okay, their next teammate is RTW player who's called himself Chinrizig, but is in fact Scorpion King SR, and he has bought the Rome Julio faction. Chinrizig have got 6 cavalry, 7 archers, but only 6 infantry. Okay, so Scorpion King SR has got 7 archers, 6 cavalry, and just 6 infantry. Okay, but if you have a look at the infantry, his infantry, you'll see that he's got 8 upgrades. Okay, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, which makes that infantry really serious infantry. But once again, only 6 of them. Now, whether that will make a difference towards the end of the battle, we'll just have to wait and see. As I said, so I've got the upgrades on his cavalry, and I see he's just got 7 upgrades on his cavalry. He's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, as you can see, most of his units are still hiding in the woods. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member UTHER, who's also bought the Rome Julio faction, and UTHER has got 12 infantry, 6 cavalry, and 3 archers. Okay, if you look at the upgrades on his infantry, you'll see that he's got 7 upgrades on his forward units, which is unusual, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. And as you go further back in his formation, you'll see that he's got lesser upgrades on a lot of his units. In fact, one unit there I see has only got 4 upgrades, and a lot of his units have just got 6 upgrades on. He's put his higher upgraded units at the forward part of his battle formation, and his general, if you notice there, is fully upgraded. 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and that formation is solid. That's a formation that UTHER has been refining over the years, and it might look nothing special as such, but I've seen massive cavalry hits smash into that, as well as infantry as well, and that formation always holds. As I say, that's an experienced formation there from UTHER. And there's his 6 cavalry. I don't think he's got great upgrades on that cavalry. I think it's just maybe gold shield, gold attack. Yeah, there you go. You can see he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his 6 units of cavalry. Okay, so he spent most of his money on his infantry there, I think. And there's his 3 archers. And their last teammate is Brotherhood member Dionysos, who has bought the Carthage faction. Now, Dionysos has got 16 Sacred Band Spearmen. 16 there. And if you look closely at his upgrades, you'll see he's got 8 upgrades. 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now, we know these Sacred Band Spearmen are really good troops in their own right, but you put 8 upgrades on them, and that makes them incredibly tough. And I see that he's got 4 Balearic Slingers. Okay, so we've got 4 Balearic Slingers there. So there's the enemy team. And as I say, they have got, if you count their cavalry, they've got 18 cavalry. Okay, against our 8. And their cavalry, their Praetorian cavalry will be better, probably will beat our companion cavalry anyway. So as I say, they've got 18 cavalry against our 8, and I think that could well make the difference towards the end of the battle. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, you can see Scorpion King SR advancing with his archers, being backed up by his cavalry there. Okay, now what he's trying to do, he's trying to hit probably Steve's Macedonians in the flank as they're running over to our allies there. Okay, so that's what Scorpion King SR will be doing. But if you notice here, Steve is running his cavalry and infantry over to that flank as fast as he can to try and avoid SR's arrow damage there. Okay, but make no mistake, Scorpion King, as we all know, very aggressive attacking player here, and as you say, he's moving forward here to try and pick off Steve's moving Macedonian troops there. Okay, so just let you know that we've decided that we're going to fight out in the open. We're not going to fight in the woods. We're moving over to these plains here, these open plains, to fight. Okay, that was a team decision there to go out into the open and fight out in the open rather than in the woods. As I say, there's no advantage for any of our factions in the woods there, because of course it's only barbarian troops that get the woods bonus. Okay, you can see our Macedonian ally there, looked like he was going to charge his cavalry forward there, then decide to back them off there when he saw the amount of enemy cavalry that was in front of him there. That was a good tactical decision there by our Macedonian ally. But his cavalry units are being picked off by enemy archers there. There he lost about 11 men from that from that cavalry unit there due to enemy archer fire. Okay, so as I say, our team has decided we're going to fight out on the open plains rather than in the trees, which is quite good really, because I think you can see more of the action obviously out in the open plains than you can fighting within the trees. You can see here Demon Souls Cretan archers there in a tussle with the enemy Julii archers there. So as I say, don't forget the enemy have got 18 good cavalry in comparison to our 8 cavalry. Okay, so they've got a big cavalry advantage, and as I say, that may well tell towards the end of the battle. Okay, just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so you can notice here Dionysos has split his Carthage Sacred Band army into 2. Okay, and it'll be interesting to see how he uses those 2 armies during the course of the battle. Unusual to split Carthage into 2 there. As I say, he may well be looking to do a flanking action with one of those Carthaginian Sacred Band armies. We'll just have to wait and see. So you can see Steve just got here from the other flank, and as I said earlier, we are going to fight out on the open plains here. As we know, SKEMA or 8-Ball can be a very aggressive player, and with his Greek city army there, he may well start to attack the enemy there. But our 2 Macedonian allies look like they're going to link up. And if you notice here, can you see Scorpion King being very aggressive with a Roman cavalry unit there, charging in to our allies Cretan archers there, trying to take those Cretan archers out. Did the damage that he wanted to, then pulls back. Nice little aggressive attacking move there. It's kind of like a surgical hit there. Take that archer unit out and then back his cavalry off quick before any damage can be done to it. Okay, let's just pause the game here. So you can see LAKEDAIMON's Scipii troops and Scorpion King SR's Julii troops are moving in on our Macedonian ally STEVELONGSHANKS there, okay? They look like they're going to attack his flank. You can see UTHER's brought his Julio army over to link up with his Carthage ally there. And you can see my Greek cities army here, which I'm probably going to link up with Steve there to watch our flank. As you can see, the enemy look like they're going to attack in two places here, maybe our flank. As you can see, the Scipii and Julii enemy armies there, as I say, may well attack our flank, while the other Julii army and the Carthaginians may well attack our front. So it'll be interesting to see what the enemy tactic's going to be here. I can see Scorpion King using that Roman cavalry unit there to chase down our archers once again. As I say, very, very aggressive attacking player with Scorpion King, as we know. And very surgical with the strikes with his cavalry as well, taking out archer units. So as I say, there you are, you can see the enemy Julii and Scipii troops moving in on our flank. Let's just pause the game for a second. Okay, so you can see them moving in there. As I say, with big cavalry advantage and big archer advantage. As I say, they've got 18 cavalry against our 8. Okay, so just bear that in mind as we go through the course of the battle. And I think that cavalry advantage could change the course of the battle. We just have to wait and see. You see STEVELONGSHANKS taking some of his companion cavalry out there, looking to attack other enemy cavalry units there. Nice aggressive move there by Steve with his cavalry. As I say, with only 8 cavalry against 18, we must be very careful with the way we use our cavalry. We don't want to have cavalry casualties where we don't need them, if you see what I mean, with the enemy having such a cavalry advantage. As you can see here, Steve and myself have linked up on this right flank facing the enemy Julii and Scipii armies there. And you can see Demon Soul and 8-Ball or Schemer here facing the Carthaginians and the other Julii army there. Okay, as I say, unusual for Carthage to split their army into two, but it'll be interesting to see how Dionysos uses it during the course of the battle. Okay, now I think Steve here wants to back his army up to try and get closer to our allies there. So as I say, to keep the battle line intact, I should probably move my Greek cities back as well. Right, okay, so this is a worrying sign for us here. Can you see all the Scipii and all the Julii cavalry on this flank have kind of met up there? So there's 12 units of cavalry there. Now, can you see where we could be at a disadvantage here in our battle formation? If that cavalry comes round there, okay, if it comes round here, 12 units of good cavalry come round there, and then charge in to the rear, if you like, of our team. Okay, yeah, companion cavalry there, but Praetorian cavalry will usually beat companion cavalry, and then all there is archers. So if those 12 units of cavalry come round there and smash into the rear of us there, we could lose all our archers and potentially all our cavalry there. So that is a worry. As I say, with the enemy having such a cavalry advantage, and if they play it smart, then that could well change the course of the battle. Okay, as I said, you can see Steve moving his Macedonian army back, so I'm going to move my Greek cities army back to keep the battle line intact between us. Okay, so there's a general overview of the battle there. As you can see, Demon Soul, he's moving over a little bit closer to. If you notice, all our team are moving in closer now. And sometimes, you know, it looks to me like we're moving into a kind of a defensive formation. Well, of course, when you've got spears and pikes, that's probably a natural thing to do, is to try and get into a defensive formation there and say to the enemy, come and get us. But of course, if you do that, then you pass the initiative over to the enemy. The enemy then has got the initiative, and we can only react to the enemy. Right, now here's this danger we saw. Can you see all this Julii and Scipii cavalry now are in behind us? As I say, Praetorian cavalry will usually beat companion cavalry there, so if they charge into the rear of us there, we could be in real trouble. Okay, let's just pause again for a second here. So as you can see, Steve moving up here to link up with Schemer against the enemy Julii troops there, and you can see here that I'm facing the enemy Scipii troops there. As I say here, you can see that Demon Soul is actually splitting his Macedonian army in to counter the split Carthaginian army there. Okay, can you see Demon Soul moving units over there to, as I say, to try and counter the split army of the Sacred Band general there. But as I say, you can see all that Julii and Scipii cavalry in behind us there. And if they do charge in there, we could be in a real lot of trouble there, I'm thinking to myself. Can you see the danger? Okay, can you see the enemy cavalry charging in there? And bang, as they smash in there. They don't worry about companion cavalry. They'll take on the companion cavalry and they'll try and sweep up the archers with all that cavalry there, okay? Now this is a really bad sign for us here, with all that enemy cavalry attacking kind of our soft units there, like our archers, and smashing into our companion cavalry as well. As I say here, you can see Dionysos bringing his Carthage Sacred Band army in to attack Demon Soul's army there. But as I say, the main danger for us at the moment is the cavalry. Now, if the Carthaginians pin and hold our Macedonian allies there, the cavalry, enemy cavalry, could smash into the back of them and rout them. Okay, so this is something that we're going to have to watch out for. And as I say, the cavalry advantages the enemy team have got could turn the battle here. Right, can you see with my Greek cities here, I'm not going to go defensive. I'm going to charge my Greek cities army into the enemy Scipii army there. Now, whether the enemy Scipii army is going to try and stand and fight the Greek cities there, or whether it's going to retreat, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm thinking that the Scipii general is probably going to do a tactical withdrawal here. You probably don't want to stand and fight the Greek cities head on. Okay, but look, I've got enemy cavalry in behind me, could smash into the rear of my advancing Greek city units, possibly. Okay, you got SKEMA here. He's also not going to stand about being defensive. Look, he's attacking the enemy Julii troops in front of him as well. So both of our Greek cities army were trying to be aggressive. Right, you can see the enemy Scipii cavalry smash into the back of my Greek cities units. But I spotted that and I've turned my spearmen to face the threat of all that cavalry there. Okay, see that Julii cavalry going in and bang! Smash straight into the back of those two Spartan units there. And you can see, I think it's Steve bringing his companion cavalry over there to try and counter that cavalry hit. And bang! As that companion cavalry smashes into that enemy Julii cavalry there. Okay, so as I say, the enemy making the most of their cavalry. Just pause the game for a second here. So I'm going to move my Spartan army up here to help 8-ball against the Julii infantry and cavalry. My guess is that the enemy Scipii general will bring his units over. And don't forget, those Julii archers in close formation there are going to be shooting arrows into us all the time. See that Scipii cavalry there would love to charge into my Spartans, but probably won't. Right, can you see a lot of our allies and Macedonian troops now have been routed? Can you see he's only got a few units left on this left flank, and he's being really fiercely engaged by those Carthaginians there. So as I say, you've got all that Scipii cavalry behind us, and the Julii cavalry have already charged in to the rear of our Greek cities ally here. But as I say, if the Macedonian troops get pinned and held there by the Carthaginian troops, the enemy cavalry could smash into the rear. As I say, Steve's companion cavalry there is attacking the enemy Julii cavalry there. There's a lot going on all over the battlefield at the same time at the moment. See those Scipii cavalry charging into the rear of my moving Greek city units there? As I run my Greek city units up to try and help SKEMA. As I say, you can see the massive load of enemy cavalry charging in here, trying to take out our companion cavalry there. See Steve's cavalry there are gradually being taken out. Okay, so I think that's basically now all our cavalry, all of our companion cavalry during the course of the battle have now been taken out, and the enemy cavalry advantage can now be seen very clearly here. Okay, so this is really bad news for our team, and as I said earlier in the game, the enemy cavalry advantage could change the course of the battle. Now look where they could hit, straight into the back of our engaged Macedonian ally there. Also, I'd like to show you a very, very nice little move here by UTHER. As you see, UTHER's infantry fights the Macedonians here, but look at this. See that gap between Demon Soul and Steve? Just big enough for UTHER to get his 6 units of cavalry in between them. That just big enough for him to get his cavalry in between us and then get in behind our engaged troops. As I say, the enemy cavalry advantage could change the course of the battle there, and when he brings that cavalry through, my guess is he's going to smash into the rear of our engaged Macedonian ally. See, Dionysos has already got a Carthaginian unit in behind our Macedonian ally there. And as I say, all our Macedonian cavalry have now been taken out, and the enemy cavalry advantage is really clear to see here. Okay, so that little move there by UTHER taking his cavalry through, my guess is now he's going to turn that cavalry and smash into the rear of our engaged Macedonian ally there, and bang, as he smashes in to our engaged Macedonian ally there, Demon Soul, on our left flank. Okay, after a fierce fight, all of Demon Soul's Macedonian army has now been taken out. Okay, all his army has now been taken out, and our left flank has now been broken. Make no mistake about that, our left flank has now been broken by the massive cavalry advantage the enemy had, and the pressing of those Carthaginian spearmen into our Macedonian ally, pinning and holding them. Now, make no mistake, the enemy will now roll us up from left to right. They'll smash into the flank of Steve there and roll his army up, and then go all the way through his army to our Greek city ally there, okay? UTHER will probably push in on the Macedonians there to try and hold and pin them, while his victorious allies from the left flank will roll them up. Okay, so as I say, the enemy cavalry advantage here has really told. Over here on our right flank, can you see I'm advancing with my Greek cities into the enemy Scipio troops, but I'm aware of the cavalry advantage the enemy have got, so I've put a unit facing backwards there to cover the rear of my engaged Greek city units. Okay, that certainly made the enemy think twice before trying to charge cavalry into my engaged Greek cities unit. As you can see here, I think SKEMA is being defensive here with his army. He's making the most of the Spartans' defensive specifications there by holding against the Julii attack, while I'm being aggressive with the Spartan specifications attacking the enemy Scipii. Okay, so make no mistake, our left flank after a fierce fight has now been broken, and the enemy team will definitely look to roll us up from left to right here, okay? So as I said to you earlier, the massive cavalry advantage that the enemy team has got has really changed the course of the battle. Okay, as I say, over on the right flank here, you can see I'm being very aggressive. Let's just pause the game for a second. As I say, you can see all that enemy cavalry there. Now what UTHER would love to do is charge into the rear of my engaged Greek cities units. He would love to do that, and I know that, and that's why I've put that unit facing backwards if he tries that. Plus I've got a unit there that I can turn to face as well to support the rear of my attacking units there. Okay, as I say, I'm making the most of the attacking specifications of our Greek cities there by attacking the enemy Scipio troops, and SKEMA is doing really well there and making the most of their defensive specification there, holding against the enemy Julii. But as I say here, can you see several of Steve's units are starting to rout already, where the victorious enemy from our left flank start to roll us up from left to right. Okay, so as I say, things not looking very good for our team, and as I say, the cavalry advantage that the other team had has really told. Also, don't forget Scorpion King in close formation here to get more impact and more damage with his archers. Have been shooting into us all the way through the battle here, causing us massive casualties. So, as I say here, there's a general overview of the battle as it stands at the moment, with the victorious enemy troops moving from left to right to roll us up. Okay, as I say, UTHER would love to charge into the rear of my engaged Greek city units, but he can see the unit I've turned backwards there to face any cavalry charge. Right, can you see UTHER there? Looks like he's going to charge his cavalry in there. And bang, as he charges those cavalry in. Now what he's looking to do, he's looking for a mass rout with the Macedonians. Can you see he's charged his infantry in as well? He's done a sandwich attack here, or a hammer and anvil attack. Can you see he's charging his infantry in aggressively into those Macedonians, and he's charging his cavalry in as well. Nice hit there by UTHER. Let's say he got a Macedonian sandwich there. Plus he's got his Carthage Sacred Band units moving in as well here to press him from left to right. But that was a really aggressive cavalry hit there by UTHER, and really nice backup there with his own infantry there. As I say, he'd like to rout that Macedonian general. As you know, Macedon morale's not very good. If he can rout that Macedonian general, then Steve's units will rout even quicker there. Okay, can you see the aggressive way he's charged his infantry in there as well? Well, that's good news for us. Looks like we've killed a Julii general. That's very good news for us. But as you can see, the Carthage Sacred Band moving in from our left there. Okay, my Spartan army there has destroyed most of the enemy Scipio troops that I were facing there. And what I'm doing now is I've split my army into two-ish there. As you can see, my bigger army there moving in on the Scipio General. Let's just pause the game for a second there. So I'd like to take out that Scipio General. I've got other units there attacking the other Scipio units. I've got Carthaginian Sacred Band come over here to try and engage me. But you can see SKEMA now has routed Scorpion King SR's troops that he was fighting. He can now turn his Spartans there to go up and help Steve there. Remember, up there where Steve is, this is where the make or break of the battle is going to be. This is where the decisive moves, I think, are going to be there to see who's going to win this battle. As I say, you can see the Sacred Band moving in there, routing some of Steve's units. And as I say here, I'm trying to take out the enemy Scipio troops. I think we've just taken out the Carthaginian general there, which is good news for us. See UTHER moving his cavalry round again, but it's very difficult for UTHER, look, because with all of us being pikes and spears, you have to be so careful with your cavalry, because obviously if you charge at the wrong time into pikes or spears with that big cavalry bonus that they've got, then you're going to lose your cavalry big time there. Right, you can see UTHER charges his cavalry in again here. Bang! As he smashes in there. Charged in there with his cavalry into the flank of the Greek city unit, but I think the Greek city general spotted that and turned his Spartan units to receive that cavalry charge. So I don't think UTHER's done the damage that he wanted to do there, and probably needs to pull his cavalry back there, or they will die quite quickly. Let's just pause the game for a second. Okay, so I've beaten the Scipio army that I was fighting there, and I am now taking my Spartan units up to where, as I say, the make or break of this battle could be up there. I see there's Carthaginian units there, but I'm not bothered about them at the moment. What I want to do is get up to where I think the battle's going to be won or lost, and that's up there. So that's where I'm running my Spartan troops. Need to get up there to support my allies as fast as I can. But as I say here, you can see a lot of Macedonian units starting to rout here with those Carthaginians pressing in on them, and of course UTHER's moved all his infantry in there now, really pressurizing our team. As you can see here, the Carthaginians here, that one of their armies are pushing in. I think the Macedonian general has just been taken out there. Did I see that? And as I say, you can see I've upped my spears and I'm running my Spartans up here as fast as I can to my allies to try and help as much as fast as I can there. As I say, 8 Ball's doing really well with his Greeks. He's making the most of the defensive specifications there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my Spartans up and become aggressive and make the most of their attacking specifications here. If you notice here, can you see UTHER has disengaged? Okay, he's disengaged his infantry from the fighting there, decided to move his infantry back. Maybe he saw my Spartan army arrive and decided he wanted to take them on head on, possibly. As you can see, the Carthaginians here still moving in on our left flank. They're pressurizing our left flank, okay? Right, so with UTHER's army there, you can see, I think 8 Ball SKEMA is going to face his Spartans there against the enemy Julio troops. So you're going to face UTHER's troops there to hold and pin them, is what I'm thinking, because I'm going to move all my army over to try and take out these Carthaginian Sacred Band units, okay? So that's what I want to do. I want to make the most of the aggressive attacking specifications of the Greek city units, and I want to take out those Sacred Band units that are moving in on our left. And well, 8 Ball covers our front there with his Spartans there, stopping the enemy Julio from coming in on our flank. You see one of my Spartan units glowed. It just got a battlefield promotion. Okay, remember, if a unit does exceptionally well in battle, you'll see it glow and it will have an experience stripe put on it, a battlefield promotion there. But as you can see, I'm really pressing my Greek city units in against those Carthaginian units. I really want to take them out, and as I say, this is a great bit of teamwork here. 8 Ball's covering my flank with his Greek cities there, stopping the Julio troops from coming in, allowing me to pressurize and put a lot of attacking moves here in on the Carthaginian Sacred Band. You can see really moving forward here, really putting a lot of pressure on those Carthaginian Sacred Band units there. Okay, you can see UTHER starting to move some of his Julio units in now. But I think we've routed most of the Sacred Band units now. Okay, it was a nice move by SKEMA. He brought a couple of his units in behind the Sacred Band units there. So well done to him. It's a nice tactical move. But But as you can see now, UTHER is aggressively attacking with his infantry. Let's just pause again for a second. Okay, now remember, those archers of Scorpion King SR in that close formation have been shooting arrows into us all the way through this battle. Okay, in close formation they get more impact and do more damage, so he has been causing us a lot of casualties all the way through the battle, probably targeting the rear of our Macedonian ally. Okay, so I say UTHER really pressurising with his infantry here now, attacking SKEMA or 8 Balls infantry. Don't forget, there's also UTHER's archers been shooting into us as well. Right, so as you can see here, all the way through this battle, I've used the attacking specifications of my Greek city's army. Okay, I don't think I've been defensive at all. I've just been attacking with my Greek city units, and SKEMA has used, I think, good defense specifications of the Spartans to hold the enemy here while I attack. Okay, so SKEMA's holding and pinning the enemy there while I can attack with my Greek city's units. There's Steve's got some of his Macedonian units still there. Okay, but I'm pressing forward with my Greek city units. Okay, you got the Carthaginian Balearic slingers being moved around tactically there, probably to shoot into the flank and rear of my Greek city units as I'm attacking the enemy Julio units there. So as you can see here, I'm pushing forward. Let's say making the most of the Spartans' attacking specifications here. Remember, the Spartans have got great defensive specifications, but they also got great attacking specifications as well. And if you can make the most of the attacking specifications, they very well can be almost battle-winning troops there. Okay, I see there's a Carthaginian unit coming into the flank of my attacking Greek cities units. As you see, Steve and SKEMA here holding well against the enemy Julio. I see UTHER's brought in a Julio unit in behind our Greek cities allies to attack. But as I said here, SKEMA and Steve are doing great holding tactics here while I'm moving forward. Nice little move there by SKEMA. If you notice, he got a couple of his Greek cities units in round the flank of UTHER and is now attacking the rear of UTHER's attacking infantry there. So nice little tactical move there by SKEMA. Attacking the rear. But as you can see here, my mass Spartans are moving forward, aggressively attacking the enemy there. Those of you that know me will know that I'm after that Julii general. Those of you that watched our other battle videos know that I always go for the enemy general if I can. Okay, there's some enemy archers being alt-attacked. They've obviously fired all their arrows there and have now alt-attacked in on our Macedonian ally there. Okay. So there's a lot of enemy troops starting to rout now. As you see, I'm pushing forward. Right, as I say, I want to take out that Julii general if I can, take away the morale from the enemy troops. It's pushing forward. Okay, that's good news for us. We've taken out the Julii general there. Okay, but also I'd just like to draw your attention here to SKEMA's general has been routed. Okay, so that's bad news for us. That's a morale bonus we've lost there. So that is bad news for us. As I say, I'm pushing forward with my Spartans there, but there's Carthaginian units coming in behind me as well, and there's Carthaginian units still being used through the course of the battle here. I can see a Carthaginian unit plus those archers that have been alt-attacked. I believe they've just taken out the last 2 units of Steve's army. Yep, Steve's general and another Macedonian unit have just been routed there in a combination of Carthage and Julii troops there. Okay, so only my general is now managed to survive there for our team to give a general morale bonus. Remember that any general in a team can give all the other teammates a general morale bonus there. Okay, so luckily my general is still alive to give us as I say, the general morale bonus. But it was bad news to see Steve's general gone there. He's fought really well, held really well there for ages. Right, let's just pause the game for a second. Okay, so let's have a look at the battlefield at the moment. Remember, this was our left flank. This is where Demon Soul held for so long there against being pinned by Carthaginian spearmen and then being smashed into the rear by large amounts of enemy cavalry. He held really well there on the left flank, and then the enemy started to try to roll us up from left to right. Okay, over here on the right flank, and you remember this is where I fought the enemy Scipii army there and took them out. But as you move further up into the battlefield here, you can start to see where the battle was the most intense. The piles of dead here as you start moving up towards where, as I say, the battle was most intense. Lots of cavalry and infantry dead here. So as you can see, it was a reasonably spread out battle, but you can see where the most intensive part of the battle has been fought here. Okay, so as I say, lots of dead cavalry there. As you can see, they seem to stick out more than the infantry there, really. I just think there's a few Carthaginian spear units left and some enemy archer units left. I think that's all that's left of the enemy team now. I think most of the enemy archers have fired all their arrows. Can you see here? I'm sending out some of my spear units here to try and take out the enemy archers. And as I say, I think there's just a couple of Carthaginian units left there. I've upped spears of several of my units there, and I'm now running my spearmen forward to attack the enemy archers that are left there. I think, as I say, that's both the Carthaginian units have now been routed, so I think that's all the Carthaginian armies have now been taken out. So all the units have been taken out of the Carthaginian army, and it's just some Julii archers that are left, I think, from what I can see. And what we do, we just have to chase them down. I say at this stage of the battle, when the battle's obviously lost there, sometimes it's a good idea just to admit defeat and let's get into the lobby and get another game hosted there. You see, I got a unit of 40 Spartans there with their swords fighting those archers. I haven't used their spears, like I'm just using their swords to fight those archers there. And I've got another Greek cities unit moving down towards them as well now, so wouldn't surprise me if those archers decided to rout there. I think it's just one unit of archers left now. And as I say, at this stage of the battle, usually it's just best to just admit defeat and let's get into the lobby to get another game hosted, is what I think. I don't know what you guys think, but there you go. I think that might be the last of the enemy units there. So yeah, and that was it looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle. As you can see, there is a close victory, very close victory is what I would say there. And after we lost our left flank, I think we really did snatch victory from the jaws of defeat there. Just like to draw your attention to the enemy Dionysos, highest kills in the game. Unusual to be in a losing team and get the highest kills in the game. 2,193. Great kills. But if you notice, UTHER and Scorpion King SR, look at the kills they've got as well. Really high. LAKEDAIMON probably didn't get the kills that he wanted there, but he was holding and pinning my Spartan army for a while there, so maybe that was a tactical move there by the team there to hold and pin, but they did really well. If you notice, SKEMA 1,698. I'm very pleased with that old Spartan army of mine, 1,954. Not too bad kills. Demon Soul probably didn't get the kills that he wanted, but he held that left flank well until he was smashed into the rear. Steve probably didn't get the kills that he wanted there either, but well played to them. As I say, if you look at the kills that the enemy have got there, they got really high kills. No wonder it was a close battle. And as I say, I think after we lost our left flank, we really did snatch victory from the jaws of defeat there. So really well done to Brotherhood member LAKEDAIMON, really well done to Scorpion King SR, and really well done to UTHER and Dionysos. Really well played, guys. I thought your teamwork there, attacking what you did, was absolutely brilliant. So really good lot of teamwork there, I noticed, and you did make the most of your cavalry, I think, there as well. And as I say, that could have been battle changing cavalry numbers that you got there. And as I say, once again, really nice kills for Dionysos, and I just like to say really well played, guys. But also I'd like to say really well played to Brotherhood member SKEMA. As I say, really good kills there for you, SKEMA. That was a nice tactics, and really well played to Brotherhood member Demon Soul. and really well played to Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks there as well. I thought you guys played well. As I say, it was a close victory there, and when I saw the amount of cavalry that the enemy had, I thought we were possibly going to lose this. Okay, so here's SKEMA's army. Let's have a look at the battle statistics. Okay, so you can see there his Spartans did really well. Look at the kills that they got there. I see one of his units got 162, 153. And if you look at my units, can you see my Spartan units didn't do too bad either. 156, 149, 122. I see one of my units at 246. So that's not too bad really for Spartans there. And even my cheap archers, look, even they didn't do too badly. Look with the kills that they got. As I say, they're very cheap archers, so they didn't do too bad. This is Spartan Commander saying, hope you enjoyed this close victory. Look forward to seeing you soon. Please leave a comment if you like, and bye for now.